saat ini saya sudah bersama dengan Mr. Arun Ventakaraman selaku Assistant Secretary of Commerce for the Global Markets and Director General of the U.S. Foreign Commercial Service. Hello, Mr. Arun. Good morning. How are you today? You looking sharp, sir?
Thank you. I tried. I'm very happy to be here back in Jakarta after a long time.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Arun. I think this is the second cooperation of the U.S. and Indonesia to achieve and or to support Indonesia's transition to clean energy since the previous MOU in 2015. What is it that the difference between this MOU that has been signed today and the previous MOU?
Certainly. You'll recall the 2015 MOU was really focused broadly on power. And what this MOU does is it changes that focus fundamentally to really focus on clean energy. What you see in this MOU is a recognition that today is a very different day from 2015. Today, both the United States and Indonesia are firmly committed to a clean energy transition that moves us towards an environment where we reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we protect ourselves from the adverse effects of climate change, and we move to a situation where we have energy security based exclusively on clean energy.
I see. What do you think of Indonesia's ambition to achieve net zero emission in 2060?
I think it is an incredibly ambitious objective, but what I appreciate is the government doesn't just state an objective and then hope it works. The government recognizes that in order for that to happen, it has to work in partnership with countries that together will help Indonesia reach that objective. And that's why I'm so pleased to be able to be here with a number of companies that are interested in finding Indonesian partners, both in the clean energy space and in other areas, to meet some of these objectives. So I think setting the objective is one thing, but then taking the specific actions, like what we did today by signing this MOU, is what's really going to make that objective a reality.
Okay, from your point of view, what do you think are the biggest challenges for Indonesia to achieve green energy?
I think the challenges that Indonesia has are the challenges that all of us have. The making sure that we can deploy the full range of technologies in scale to reach these objectives is probably the most fundamental challenge. That requires bringing in the right inputs, the right resources to create the clean energy sources here in Indonesia. So how do you make sure you have enough solar cells? How do you make sure you have enough wind farms? How do you make sure that you have the right equipment and at scale to produce enough energy to reach that goal? Because we can't simply, in order to replace that existing energy with clean energy, that's a lot of energy that has to be produced. Again, I commend the Indonesian government for setting those targets and for putting in place plans to produce gigawatt upon gigawatt of clean energy towards that objective.
Okay, this MOU also regulating about Indonesia transition to electric vehicle ecosystem. Will the big names of the U.S. manufacturers also be included to invest in the Indonesia EV ecosystem?
Well, as you know, our big companies are keenly interested in the Indonesian market and in working with the government of Indonesia and companies in Indonesia to produce the vehicles of tomorrow, and in particular the electric vehicles. We support our companies finding Indonesian partners across the whole value system, and so that they can make the best vehicles for tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Arun, last question. Is there any exact or specific numbers of investment that the U.S. and Indonesia has concluded from this MOU?
So what I would say is this MOU is the beginning of the work, not the end of the work. So while we don't have a number to announce today, what we have put in place is a framework to make concrete, take the government work that we're doing and make it concrete as we implement these projects that will lead to the numbers that you're talking about and ultimately support the Indonesian government's objectives.
All right, thank you, Mr. Arun. We hope for the best for this clean energy working group project between Indonesia and the U.S.